let's see a correction of the cats and dog classification problem. So we have to upload this Colab notebook. So here is the Colab notebook. So we will see the different parts. So at the beginning, we have to upload a big zip file which contains 2000 JPEG images, pictures of cats and dogs. So this is what is done here. Unzip this file and split this dataset of images into 4 datasets. We will have a training dataset with cats image, a training dataset with dog images. So both will be used for the training, and the 2 other one, a dataset with cat and dog images, are for validation. So among the images, we will get 1000 images of cat, 1000 images of dog, 500 images only for validation. Okay, so now on this part, it's just to have this code is only to have a few images, a representation of images of the 8 for the 8 first cat images and the 8 first images of dog. Just to realize that the dogs and cats are very different, different dogs, species of dogs, on different shape and different background colors. So it's quite difficult to recognize if on an image you have a dog or a cat. So now we will build a network to train with these images. So we will build this network with the Keras library. So with the Keras library, we must describe the model as different layers and describe each layer one after another one. So we start from the input layers here. So we will specify this for the input layer, the shape is 150 by 150. So we will have to resize all the image to fit in these dimensions. And 3 means that we have 3 planes, red, green, and blue, because we have color images. So this is a 3D tensor which represents the image. Now the first layer is a convolutional 2D layer, which is described by 16 kernels, and each kernel is a 3 by 3 value. So we have 9 values to compute, to train to compute during the training. 9 values for each kernel, and we have 16 kernels to compute. On the activation function, we choose to use the ReLU. So we send this input image here as an input to the convolutional 2D layer, and then we get the output in the X variable. Then we send this X variable as an input to another layer. It's a max pooling 2D. So the goal is here to divide by 2 in width and height the size of the image. Then we have another couple of convolutional and max pooling layer. Here we have 32 kernels, and each kernel is a 3 by 3 matrix, so 9 values to compute during the training. As before, an activation function ReLU, And here we will do a max pooling with the output of this image here to have an image which size is divided by 2 in width and height. Then the final couple of convolutional and max pooling layer. So here we have 64 kernels, always 3 by 3, always the activation function of ReLU, and so on. So I display the size of each output values. At the beginning, we have an image of 150 by 150 pixel with a 3 red, green, blue. After the first convolutional layer, we get an image on 148 by 148 and 16. So 16 is because we have 16 kernels, but 148, why don't we have 150? Because here, because when you apply the convolutional, when you apply during the convolutional algorithm, if you apply the kernel, a 3 by 3 kernel, as you can see, if you put it in the upper left corner, it is able to calculate the middle here, this point here, which corresponds to 4. So we lose a border pixel of this. So the width is -2 and the height is -2. Here we have a 3 by 3, here we have a 5 by 5. We lose 2 pixels on the left, on the right, on the top, on the bottom. Okay, here we just continue to have 16 images, but these images are divided, the size are divided by 2 by the max pooling 2D. Here we have we always lose 2 pixels, just I explained before, and we have 32 images because you have 32 kernels. Here we divide by 2. The same here with the 64 kernels. And here is the final output after passing through the 3 convolutional pooling, max pooling couple of layers. So now we have finished for the feature extraction of the deep learning model. Now we have to do a flatten. So this flatten will generate a vector here, which shape is 64 by 17 by 17. We give this to first the first fully connected layer, the dance, which has 512 neurons on the activation function of ReLU. Then another, the next layer is a dance 2, so it's fully connected. And here we only have one output because we just want to predict between 2 classes, dog or cat, so 1 or 0. And because we want to have a value between 1 and 0 and not real, which ranks from -infinity to +infinity, but we just want the values between 0 and 1 to be considered like a percentage. We pass the output of this to not a ReLU, but to a sigmoid. And the sigmoid will reshape the data between 0 and 1. Okay, so here with model summary, you have a description of all the layers we have seen before. So input layer, convolutional pooling, convolutional pooling, convolutional pooling, then flatten to have a vector here, this vector, which is this by this by this, 17 times 17 times 64. We have two dense layers here and here on the final dense layer, which is to have an output of 1. Here you have all the numbers, the number of all the parameters that the deep learning algorithm must train with the data. So you see, if you do the sum, it's more. Yes, here we have this here. We have more, about 10 millions of parameters to train. So we need a lot of images to be able to train about 10 millions of parameters. So we do some, now we have made the model. We can compile it to be able to use it. So we precise the optimizer, how we will calculate the loss on the matrix which will be used. We will just compute the accuracy. Then here it's a function to calculate to compute the training dataset and the validation dataset. And now we start here the training of the model. So it takes, I don't know, there's no total, but we use here, yes, Google Colab provides us a GPU to accelerate the computation, but it takes a few, maybe about 1 minute. You have to sum everything. And here, yes, here we have the times it takes. So we perform 15 epochs, and we can see that the accuracy of the model increase to more than 88%. So it seems very good, and the loss, the error, will decrease from 0.7 to 0.06. So the loss decrease. So it seems to be a good model because the loss decrease and the accuracy increase. But if we have a look at the validation data, for the validation accuracy, it always go up, then no, it starts to go up, then it goes down, it stabilizes. Okay. And if we just have a look at the validation loss start to decrease, just the loss of the training data, okay. But after a few moments, it increase, and increase, and it finished by about 2, but it starts with 0.6. If we plot this, so we don't care about this. If we plot this, we have this. For the training data, the accuracy goes up, normal, and the loss goes down, normal. But for the validation data, the accuracy stabilizes at about 0.7, 70%, while it's not really good. And more important, we see that the loss for validation data increase a lot. It starts to decrease, but after a few moments, it increases a lot. It means that we do some overfitting, and it's not a good model. So we will have to change different things to our model to avoid this overfitting effect. Now let's see how we can improve the model to avoid the overfitting. So to reduce overfitting, we can explore two ways, two solutions. First one is to do data augmentation, and the second one is to use a dropout. So let's see data augmentation. Data augmentation consists in changing a bit each images from the dataset. So instead of giving always all the time the same images during all the epoch, we will do some little improvement, some little changement on these images. So we define here with the image data generator, we define the different transformations that we can make to an image. We can rotate this image a little. We can do some zoom in, zoom out. We can do horizontal flip. We can do vertical flip, but it has no interest for the case of animals because they will have the leg on the top, on the body on the bottom. But we can do a lot of different changement. So here we configure this changement. Now we load the same dataset of cats and dogs images. So we have many images. I think it's 2,000 cats and 2,000 dogs. And here, just an example of data augmentation performed on one image. So you have the same image here. And you see here, there is a horizontal flip here. I don't know why you don't have here. Okay. We have some improvement, some modification on the image. So the idea is to get more image from our 2,000 images. Just like if we get, for example, 4 or 6,000 images, different images. So we can add this data augmentation process here. So we still have 2,000 images, but because we will do some data augmentation, if it is just like if we have more than 2,000 images per class. Now adding dropout. Dropout is a way to sometimes cut the connections. I will show you. So dropout is a layer. Here we can add this layer. Excuse me. We can add this layer between the two dance layer here, and the 0.5 means that we will artificially, randomly disconnect some neurons. So we will do something like this. We have a neural network fully connected, but randomly we select neurons and disconnect them just during one epoch. Then on the other epoch, maybe they will be reconnected or another one will be disconnected. So this is a dropout. So we can do it here 1/2 times we disconnect the neuron. We can select how many times we will disconnect it. So the main idea of dropout is to avoid a neuron to gain the majority and to have the full power. And it's a way to split the power of decision to all the neurons. So all the neurons will be equally trained, because sometimes when they are disconnected, they can't train, and the other has the opportunity to be changed, to be trained. So if we do both modification, when we will retrain the model, so we will have this data during the training, but it's more clear if we see the corresponding plot. So here now we see that the training accuracy is increasing and the validation accuracy is increasing too. But most important, the validation loss continue to decrease, and it doesn't increase just before the data augmentation and before the dropout. So now this model at the end is better than this model at the beginning, which was not the case before data augmentation and before dropout.